Hey everyone, this is Scott from Throughout the World Podcast. Welcome to another edition of ReWatching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Today I'm talking about Season 4, Episode 17, Identity and Change. I'm just going to be starting off with the plot summary, and then I'm just going to be talking about my general thoughts about this episode and any Easter eggs or foreshadowing I might have noticed. So let's just start with that plot summary, which says, hoping Radcliffe can help them escape, Daisy returns to Hydra and locates him, but May gives her a new mission on the orders of Fitz and Ada, the latter of whom is choosing to go by Madam Hydra. Ward directs Coulson, who can remember some things thanks to previous tampering with his mind, and Simmons to the Resistance, the remnants of S.H.I.E.L.D. under the command of an inhuman Mace. Ward, Simmons, and Coulson take a stolen Hydra Quinjet to extract Radcliffe. May and Daisy arrest Mac, and May forces him to trick Daisy into confessing her true allegiance. The others find Radcliffe living in seclusion with Agnes, and he tries to explain that he and Agnes cannot leave the framework due to their real bodies having died. Fitz and Madame Hydra arrive, and Radcliffe attempts to appeal to Fitz, though Fitz already knows of the other world and that Radcliffe had enslaved Ada there. He kills Agnes and imprisons Radcliffe, torturing him and Daisy. Regretting his actions, Mac joins the Resistance. So yeah, that's the plot summary for this episode. I really enjoyed this episode because we're really getting into the thick of this framework world, of this framework storyline with Fitz. Fitz being so evil. Evil Fitz. It breaks my heart because I love Fitz. I both love seeing this turn of his just because it's an interesting new take on it, but also hate it because he's such a sweetheart. And in this one, he's so evil. And it's just, but it's so great because we get to see that range of, oh god, I'm forgetting the actor's name now. I'm so terrible with names. But you just get to see the range that he can do with this character, and it's really interesting. And it plays even more into the next season where he's kind of dealing with some of the after effects of having gone through that, the emotional trauma that kind of that ensues from the events of the framework. But I really enjoy that we get into the thick of that. Some other stuff I like that Coulson only kind of knows. It's just a funny bit that he doesn't really completely remember the real world, but he does a little bit. He's got all these conspiracy theories like about the Hydra brainwashing soap, and I just like it because it's funny. But I also like that, at least Simmons got somebody who knows that there's some kind of other world, so I just enjoyed that part. There's a cool scene with Daisy trying to escape Hydra where she beats up a bunch of Hydra agents, but then she ends up getting caught and getting beaten up herself. Hydra is not very nice at all, but I mean, I didn't need to really say that, so stay in the office. But yeah, then we get at the end. The other thing we got was Mace as an actual Inhuman, as the Patriot leader of S.H.I.E.L.D. / the Resistance, which I just really liked. I like seeing this kind of gritty rebel as the as Coulson says at one point, the kind of rebel aesthetic, which I always love when they throw a Star Wars reference into this show. But yeah, I just like seeing Mace and seeing that he's actually a really Inhuman. His regret was that he had to lie about being an Inhuman as opposed to being a real Inhuman, or that his regret being that he never had powers. So it's really interesting to see that take on his character. And then we, like I had already mentioned, we get evil Fitz killing Agnes at the end, which I really think really plays into him and Simmons' relationship. Obviously, Simmons spending this whole episode being like, "No, I can get through to Fitz. He's not that bad." And then we end off this episode with her being like, "Fitz, what the But it's also evil Fitz. We also have to remember that it is Hydra Fitz, but it's still, I really enjoyed the kind of emotional arc that we see those characters going through with that. But yeah, that's all the thoughts I had about this episode in particular. Be sure to let me know in the comments below if there's anything about this episode you liked or didn't like in particular. Be sure to let me know in the comments below. Thanks again for joining me today. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Have a good one.